Attention hunters, and I'm back for the next part of the Firebird journey. As I mentioned last time, I want to try a new setup to increase my survivability. And the core of it will be this item, Verdant Steps. If you're like me, you might have wondered why this item is so expensive. Let me explain. Spirit Magi skills are passive skills that summon an elemental that fight for you. They also each grant a different passive bonus called Origin of Spirit Magus. While these might seem minor, they can be scaled with this stat. Now let's take a look at the Verdant Steps. Not only do they give either ailment or wilt and trauma immunity, but they also give additional effects to certain Origin of Spirit Magus. First, they can convert all damage taken to a specific element, which can be scaled to 100%, meaning that you only need one type of resistance. And second, they give additional damage to a specific element. And now you understand why I want to try those boots. Let's buy a pair then. I was lucky to get very good rolls for relatively cheap. Before I can equip them though, I have to get a lot of Origin of Spirit Magus effect. So, new Kismet setup. 3-star trails and 6 microfates, Origin of Spirit Magus. This setup can give more than 120% Origin of Spirit Magus effect. This is huge for the build. New Phantasmagoria Prism with Origin of Spirit Magus effect and at least a 3x3 area. New Pedigree with Sacrifice and Source. Since Frost Spirit gives high energy shield regeneration once scaled, I don't need the Druid tree anymore. So I swapped to Sentinel for the huge damage boost from Last Stand. And finally I get some max cold resistance using the Cold Ward support for Frost Magus and 2 max cold resistance microfates placed on the same pack branch as my star trails thanks to an undetermined fate. And with all of this along with a new hero memory, I get to a comfortable 87% cold resistance. I'm not going to lie to you. This whole swap to Magus stacking is not necessary, and it made me lose a lot of damage. But it is something I've been wanting to try for some time now, and I am not disappointed. Even this early setup makes me very tanky, which is very comfortable in maps as I can ignore all environmental damages. There are still some optimizations I need to make though, as I am not yet at 100% damage taken converted to cold. These precise supports should help me get there. Here is what the Magus setup looks like. I decided to go with Frost, Fire, and Thunder Magus as they give damage bonuses, and I don't need the damage reduction from the other Magi. With 100% of damage taken converted to cold and 87% cold resistance, the build is now virtually immortal and profound. Of course, I lost some damage along the way, but nothing I can't get back with new upgrades. Talking about upgrades, next one on the list is an Eternity. I really should have bought it earlier, as it is an incredible damage boost for the build in maps. As you can see by the sales notifications at the top of the screen, I continued farming compasses as it is a very chill strategy.
Calculations are complete. The high spellburst appears to be feasible.
Eternity is particularly well suited to this build as it gives a huge amount of defense, which directly translates to damage due to barrier burst mechanics. And of course, I don't forget the corrosion. No way! This is the perfect outcome. Sometimes lucky. I'm out of FEs, so I only blend +1 max spell burst. Let's try it out in a map. It feels amazing. This is definitely the most impactful upgrade so far. Look at this energy shield number. And this is just a regular map. Coupled with the defense from Magus stacking, I can barely feel the frost breath anymore. Let's get some more upgrades. New Undetermined Fate with 1 medium slot. Thanks to Fire Magus, I am almost crit capped. This allows me to use the Perched River Dual Kismets for 2 additional spell burst, as Unlucky Crit barely affects my crit chance. Also, new Necklace of Firebird with a good double corrosion. Even with a bad elemental resistance roll, I am still rest capped. Now that I have bought all of my chase items, I have only one thing in mind: getting my revenge and crafting a GG Vorax helmet. But first I need to gather some currency. I'll start with the same base as last time. This is even more important now as I lost a lot of energy shield by using unique boots. The plan here is very simple. I want to work on the suffixes first and then slam the additional fire damage from the Mask of Infernal Iron as a suffix. First try. And it's a miss. Let's try again. Nice, although I wished it would have removed the life regeneration. Now for the prefixes, I want some decent affixes and +1 max spell burst. Never mind that. Let's forget about that one. I'll just get some good advanced affixes. Perfect. And now for the expensive part. Let's slam a truth organ and hope for the plus level to all skills. Unlucky. Nice, I got rid of it without ruining the prefixes. Second try. Sometimes lucky, all the time. Let's divine it real quick. Now that is a nice helmet, but can it really be over without a corrosion? Well, it doesn't get much better than this. And thanks to this helmet, I managed to reach dummy cap again. The build is now almost complete, and for most purposes, there would be no need to go further. But in the last video, I said I wanted to try my hand at SS20 with this character, and I believe I am not far from being capable of beating it. I have enough survivability, but I still lack some damage. Thankfully, there are still some minor optimizations I can make that should have a big impact on my DPS. First thing on the list is getting +1 max tenacity stack dream affix on my second wand. Then a new Corroded Dawn break with the Quick Wits blending for additional spell damage. And finally a new Phantasmagoria with Origin of Spirit Magus effect and Fire Infiltration. I could have gone with +2 max tenacity blessings, but this one was half the price. Now I should be ready for SS20. After a few tries, I can safely say that you should not play Firebird if you want an easy fight. I am forced to stay close to the boss to deal damage, which means that my damage uptime is poor due to the frequent teleportations and invulnerability phases. Thankfully, I have enough survivability to tank most of his attacks, making the fight not as painful as it could have been. Still, next season I'll make sure to use a range-triggered skill to do this fight.
The world through your eyes is all that you see in this world is but a faint reflection of the truth.
As soon as the boss is around 20% life, I swap to a culling setup using a corroded Machine Lord helmet and a spider tank. With a good corrosion, you can get up to 22% cull. And it is done. I didn't get the 3 stars, so I might revisit it later, but this is good enough for me. I can now grab the free drop pack spirit chest. I don't know which pact I want yet, so I'll keep it for later. I realize I still haven't shown you some deep space gameplay. Of course the build is able to clear it with no problem, but I find it kind of boring. There is only a few layouts and the maps feel big and empty. I much prefer farming in Profound despite the lower profits. You can get some nice loot explosions though. And of course, the build can tank most of Ordrak attacks. This is actually my first character that can survive its breath after rank 3000. This has been a fun journey. To be honest, I was not sure I could get the build to this point, but I am very happy I did. I enjoyed every step of this adventure, although I fear I might have been spoiled with how tanky this build is. I think it is a good time to end this journey and start looking at what the next one might be. I hope you enjoyed this series and that you'll stick around for the next one. As always, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.